Today has been a day where my heart has just been racing and my mind has been in overdrive. And hello everyone and welcome to the channel. We're talking about Final Fantasy XIV's Summoner, and Summoner specifically. Mr. Happy actually released a kind of an overview of the skills that the different jobs were doing as a part of the benchmark. But for me, I was really lasered and focused in on one specific job, and that is what is going on with the Summoner. And that's what this video hopes to explore. Just as a warning to anybody out there who might not have seen a coffee chat before, this is an unscripted conversation, just you and me hanging out and me shouting out my ideas into the void, and you guys can either, let me know if you think I'm right, think I'm wrong, what you want to see about the Summoner. Just feel free. It's, should hopefully be conversational, and we can always explore future ideas and conversations, obviously, in like live streams and stuff like that. That might be a better place for it, but I just really want to kind of put my thoughts down. It'll be really interesting to see and reflect on this video here in November, or actually probably even in mid-September, when hopefully we'll get some more information about the actual changes that are happening to Summoner. But I don't have any inside information. I've just been playing the job for seven years now. So at the end of the day, I'm really hoping that we see something come out from it. So what you're seeing right here in the corner, and we'll actually go to a more, focused view here in just a second, is the benchmark trailer. You can go watch it for yourself. By the time you're probably watching this video, you might actually be able to go download the benchmark for PC only, just FYI, and check it out for yourself. But what I've been looking for, and I found a couple of examples of the Summoner, and we do see a specific skill that the Summoner is using, but it is a job that is very well protected in terms of what they're laying out. Now, all in all, we're going off of a lot of interviews and information, and Yoshi P himself kind of talking about, well, Eggy Glamours might not be coming in because it sounds like we might be reworking the Summoner, all paraphrasing in kind of a vague language. But when you look at the job itself, the question is that do you add another bigger type summon, and what do you do with the Eggies? At the end of the day, Summoner might be a job that just seems to get a bigger rework this expansion around. Don't put all your eggs in that basket, but that's what this video is about. Just going to be talking about that. So if you don't like speculation and you don't like that kind of stuff, hopefully I'll see you in my next video. No hard feelings. But let's go ahead and dive into where we actually see the Summoner in action with the benchmark trailer and kind of highlight that, show off the skill, and then I'm going to give you guys some updated thoughts I have about the job itself. So let's go ahead and cut over here and let's jump into the different action trailer itself. It's Estinian being NPC magic and awesome. It's right around the time we see the different black mages, and so we've got red mage. Okay, yes, perfect. So right around here, you can actually start to see that there is a Ifrit Eggy going on right here while everything's just blowing up here in the background. So I think that's really important. And the fact there's also another Summoner over here doing something very similar with Ifrit, but it's hard to see at this explosion. You'll see a Summoner over here on your right and a Summoner over here on your left. And I've got this going in slow-mo. And you see right now, the Summoner's doing his thing, casting some ruin. So we see that still coming back. Ifrit's just kind of hanging out, and being that it's in slow motion, he's just kind of getting animated off to the side. So we don't really gain a lot of information from just that clip. You also see the other Summoner down here with another Ifrit Eggy. The only Eggies that I've been able to see in this video at all is Ifrit, just by the way. So keep that in mind. And let's go ahead and now jump forward. So didn't see any other summons going on throughout the rest of the video until we get to the final scene here. And that's actually perfect timing. Where you'll see, obviously, we'll let it kind of rewind here a little bit. And yep, we got our Summoner here casting, and another Ifrit Eggy being the main, obviously, focus of the summon itself. Gonna do a sweep. We're gonna see the Summoner cast their ruin. And this is where we're gonna see the skill. So pay close attention. I've slowed this down as much as I possibly can. They charge in for a dash attack. So in a way, we've seen, obviously, Ifrit have a dash attack, right? So in a way, we have Ifrit out. The Summoner is doing some kind of dash attack. You could almost think of this as kind of an invoker taking on some of the abilities and skills, which is what the Summoner did with Phoenix. We've seen this already start to happen currently in the game already, where your summon dictated the abilities and what you had access to. So I'm wondering if we're going to start to see that. Now, what we also get from this is that if, with Summoner having a dash attack, which in this case, we'll just go ahead and let the animation finish. It finishes with an explosion, and while I keep slowing and pausing, it doesn't seem like Ifrit is there. It looks like you're still on fire, or maybe Ifrit joined with you for that explosion and then starts to separate, right? So that's kind of what's going on in this. We're going to go ahead and let that play itself again for you guys real quick. So if the summoner's taking on that, what purpose, what value would that dash and attack be? Well, obviously it looks like it probably would be kind of an AoE specific. It does get that summoner a little bit more momentum, a little bit more movement. And the summoner has been weird in the movement department, like where you think of both summoner, red mage, having movement ability to move around the arena. Black mage, not so much. Black mage, you kind of want to set up shop. And obviously just kind of attack. The more stationary you could be, the better. And that's where, as a black mage, you want to pre-plan. Summoner has moments where they're mobile and moments when they're not. And having a dash to be able to jump in, honestly, is very interesting to me as a player of this. Because one of the things I've really enjoyed about tanking is that mobility. One of the things I really enjoy about Samurai is that ability to get in and get out. Now the question is that, you know, casters usually live at a range, so you want to see them obviously doing, you know, not necessarily always being up close. But Scholar has that up close with the Art of War as their AOE, which is that instant cast. So to be able to kind of jump in, pop off some, like, hopefully maybe AOE damage, joining with whatever summon you have at the moment. Like, just the fact that, assuming here that all that would be AoE damage, that essentially means that maybe your summons are a little bit more flexible, because I would say you'd want Gerudo out if you're doing AoE, and you want Ifrit out if you're doing single target. Of course, this could still all fall under those rules and be single target still, but at the anyway, I'm just really excited. I like the potential that our summons impacted our abilities. Hands down. Like, while yes, we see Ruin seems to be a staple, but I would really like to see where that's the summon itself had more impact, because when you bring out Bahamut, it isn't so much, it's more about Bahamut, but with Phoenix, it really actually directly changes up your skills. The other side that I love to see, personally speaking, is that I guess it's just me, and it works, right? It works a part of the rotation in terms of letting it balance itself out. I'm just kind of letting this replay because I don't want y'all to get too far into the video. If you're like, I don't think it's spoilery, but at the end of the day, I would rather just not risk it in this regards. But I'd like to see that the like any kind of pet commands being on the off the global cooldown. I think that ultimately would help and feel much better. Obviously, you can use the pet commands on the move, which is going to stack up Ruin 4, which is going to make that instacast. Like, there's a lot of really good things going on with the summoner as it exists today. I just think that it obviously could be a little bit better. There's a lot more that I think that could be cohesive in its nature. Anyway, that's what I want to show you in terms of the video itself. So we saw the two areas in which we in the benchmark where the summoner was multiply present. Just Ifrit in that regards. I personally, like, yes, we're talking about mobility, we're talking about its power. I would really like to see you know, more summons and more choice in that regards, but that gets really weird and difficult with the current battle system, and that's why the Aggie Glamour system has always been this thing that it's requested. We have so many primals, there's so many things that, you know, icons that we could fight, that we could have and just kind of enter swap out. And obviously, I think that sounds like that might be getting reworked, but maybe that will be for our benefit. Personally speaking, having another, you know, third bigger summon, I don't know if it necessarily makes the most sense, but I don't know. I'm hopeful. I've got dreams and hopes about the job, and it's what I want is I want it to be a job that I just can't step away from. I felt like that it was that before Shadowbringers. But after Shadowbringers, it was something that it was like, you know what? I definitely I felt like more connected to Red Mage this expansion, interestingly enough. But those are my thoughts about Summoner. I could go on all day and just kind of ramble on about it. And I just want to get your guys' thoughts. Hopefully this was a fun video, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys want. If you're a Summoner main, or if you've always wanted to check out the job, the Final Fantasy XI player in me just wants to say, like, I want the big summons. I want to have you know, my pet that's out, and then essentially and then kind of work up my Aether, work up my abilities to have the bigger summon, but an invoker style system in which that you take on the powers of the pet that you have out could be an interesting thing, especially whether it affected your rotation or not, or if it affected your playstyle or not. Because imagine getting in a party with two summoners and be like, all right, I want to roll Ifrit if you want to roll on another pet. That way we'll have a little bit more versatility. But all of that's a game theory in this regard. All that's just an excitement theory. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for being awesome. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you in my next one. But until then, guys, you'll have a fantastic week. I'll see you soon. Take care. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video, and if you're listening to this voice, you are a special person, and I really do appreciate it. If you feel like watching more, YouTube's got its recommendations for you on the screen. Otherwise, I hope to see you soon. Bye.